Hello and welcome to Moonbeams. My name is Tony McKilligan and I'm an intuitive tarot card reader and the owner of Yemallas Moon Tarot right here in beautiful Edmonton, Alberta. So this is part 2 of my Halloween video blog, and if you watched the previous video, you heard me talking about what Halloween means to me and the ways that I celebrate it. And my original intention with that video was to include a demo reading for you, but I ran out of time. So I'm going to do that reading for you today instead. Before I begin the actual reading, I just want to explain a little bit about my process. So to start, I'm using the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. It's one of my favorite decks and the one that I use most often when I'm doing readings for other people. This is going to be a 5-card spread laid out in a chevron pattern. And don't be confused by the fact that you're actually going to see 6 cards. The extra card is what I call Hidden Beliefs card, and it's drawn from the bottom of the deck after the deck is cut. This card represents those things that we can draw on to enhance and help promote the messages that we get in the reading. Can also demonstrate for us possible things that are stopping us or blocking us from progressing and achieving our goals. Okay, so we're ready to begin, and just before I start the actual reading, I just want to apologize in advance for the poor audio in this next section. It's just been one of those days that's been filled with technical difficulties, and so we're just gonna go with this because it's the best I can do. So I hope you enjoy this reading.
Okay, so I have already shuffled the cards and laid them out, as you can see. So before I begin doing the reading, I will just explain the anatomy of this spread. So as I explained earlier, it's a 5-card spread with 6 cards. The 5-card spread are these top cards here, and then this card down here that you can see is that Hidden Beliefs card. And so it's kind of that extra little bit of information that's going to support the actual spread and the reading that we get from these cards. So this card here is the one that I always start with. This is called the Core card. And it sort of represents the energies that are developing or in action right now. And these cards here I call the flanking cards, and they tell us the actions that we can take or consider taking that will either support and enhance or negate these core energies that we see here. And then these 2 cards on the outside are the wing cards, and so they give us an idea of the outcomes that can be expected. I don't like using the word outcomes because it's not something that is absolutely definite. They're just kind of based on your choices how things can turn out or continue to develop. And then, of course, at the very end, we'll look at this card, which is that Hidden Beliefs card, and just see how it supports or it supports what we're seeing in the spread, what the messages are. It can also tell us what might be blocking us from achieving what we see up above. So when I do a reading, I usually don't lay them out face down like this. I usually lay them out face up, and I like to see all the cards all at once, except for this one. We'll save this one for later. So I'm just going to move it out of my way here for now and flip the cards over and see what is happening. There we go. Now, the very first thing I notice in this reading is that there's a lot of masculine energy here. All of the figures that we see are masculine in nature. That does not mean that they actually represent men. It's just that the focus is more on the left brain, analytical, masculine energies that we all experience, whether we're men or women. So our core card here, and I'll just lift it up to show you so you can see it a little clearer, is the King of Pentacles. Now this guy, he is a king, so he represents authority, he represents success to some degree. All kings sort of emanate those energies. But he looks a little pensive. He looks like he's taking some time at the moment to really consider where he is, and perhaps even what needs to be done. So this could very easily pertain to all of us, and just like I said in my previous video, this being the new year and a time to set goals, our King of Pentacles is a good representation of that. He is basically taking stock and looking at his his life as it is right at the moment, and working out, what needs to be done, where he wants to go from here. So this is a good sort of confirmation or reinforcement of the idea of looking at our situations very closely and setting some goals. Now, our first flanking card here is the Two of Pentacles, and this is a card about balancing. It can be finances, it can be home business sort of relationship in our life. There's different ways that we can look at it. But really what it's saying is that we need to find that that balance and in our lives that is going to give us the best sort of energy. I'm not quite sure of what exact word I want to use there. It'll probably come to me in just a moment as I continue. But here we see, checking your budget is a good idea. Making sure that you're not overspending or overdrawing yourself. This is something that we want to be particularly conscious of at this time of year, because the holidays are coming up. They're only a few weeks away, and And this is the time of year where a lot of us get stressed out about our expenditures, and we can tend to go a little crazy. So this is just a reminder that we want to just be very careful. Don't get stressed out about it or anything, but just watch how you're spending, because as you'll see when we get to our wing card over here in a moment, this could lead to some difficulties and problems. Now, this card here, our second flanking card, is the Seven of Cups. And this is the card of choices, right? It's reminding us that we need to weigh our choices and options very carefully, and not to get tricked. I like that word, into believing things that aren't true. So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, and you might want to look at a different option. But even if we're not conscious and aware all the time, there's always options. There's always choices. And sometimes we make very knee-jerk choices. We react in a way that is just a habit, instead of stepping back and looking very closely at the situation and seeing what we can do better, rather than just making those knee-jerk reactions. So here we have a reminder that it's good to take your time with things, to take your time when you're faced with decisions, and not to make rash decisions. And the closer you look, the more options you will see. And that can sound very overwhelming, but at the same time, it could reveal things to you that you hadn't considered before and might want to look at a little closer in the moment. So, our first flanking card here is the Five of Wands, and this is the card of conflict. So as I said when we were talking about the Two of Pentacles, to watch your spending and make sure that your budget is in order, the failure to do so could lead to this, right? And we don't want conflict in our lives if we can avoid it. Sometimes it's necessary to clear the air, and so depending on how you proceed and whether or not you choose to give that time and attention to your budget, this is avoidable or inevitable, and we want to kind of avoid it if we can. So there's opportunity in this card as well. So conflict is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes, as I said, it's good to clear the air, but there's also opportunity in conflict. There's opportunity to grow and to learn. And so if there is an opposing viewpoint presented to you, again, don't give in to those knee-jerk reactions, those habitual sort of ways in which you respond to people or things. Try not to take offense, and to just think about what the other person is saying. You might be surprised. They actually might have something worth listening to. So at least give it that chance. Now, our final wing card over here, again, one of my favorite cards, is the Magician from the Major Arcana. And I love this guy. His first and foremost, his message is as above, so below, as within, so without. So he is here to remind us that you create your own reality. And whatever is going on in your life is influenced very much by your thoughts. So here he is saying, again, you have choices, and the choices that you make are what is going to manifest in your life. So taking the time to really think about what you're doing and give it the time and attention it needs to really become beneficial in the highest regard for yourself is really worth your time. Now, there's an underlying message here, which is that there's infinite potential available to you. You can make whatever you want happen. You have to put the time and the effort into it, but how you direct your thoughts, how you sort of, react to things, and whether or not you even try to direct your thoughts are what are creating your reality. So this is a really good reminder, and as an outcome card, if you will, it's giving you control to a large degree. It's giving you the ability and the power to make better choices and have a better life, create a better life for yourself. Now, I'm going to recap here before I get into our final card, which is that Hidden Beliefs card, and just give you a quick and general overview. Our King of Pentacles is asking us to look closely at our current situations and set some goals, make some plans, look at where our weaknesses and our strengths lie, and begin to act on those goals as soon as you possibly can. Balancing your budget, watching your spending, not being impulsive or irresponsible with your spending is something that we want to all consider. You have many choices. Don't just dive into the first thing that comes up. If it's too good to be true, or if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Don't let the idea that there are options overwhelm you. There could be some really interesting and fun options that you might not have considered. But if you take the time, there's some interesting things that you can explore. Failing to look after your finances could lead to conflict. It's good to clear the air sometimes, but if you want to avoid conflict, you need to be responsible and communicate your needs and your desires as well before somebody, other people can't tell what you're thinking all the time, so you need to make that very clear. But also, if conflict does arise, look at it as an opportunity for growth. Don't take offense. Listen to the other party, because there could be some really good information available there for you to take to heart. As above, so below, as within, so without. Your thoughts create your reality. There's infinite potential available for you to tap into. Make your choices wisely. And now for our final card, which is the Nine of Cups. Oh, how wonderful. This is, I'll hold it up so you can see it. This is the Wish card. It's also, in this particular deck, the Hospitality card. So here we see a measure of generosity, both given and received. And we see that through generosity, through giving from the heart, there's reciprocity there, and this is going to lead to more goodness coming into your life, and more benefits for yourself. This is a really good hidden beliefs card. I really like this card. This card is very supportive of everything that we've already touched on in the reading, and it's a reminder as well that, you know, when we conduct ourselves and choose our actions from a place of love, that is exactly what is going to be returned to us. So there you have it. That is my demonstration reading. It's a generalized sort of reading about how we can all proceed as the new turning of the wheel begins this next month. And hopefully it has given you some ideas, some hope even, for a better future. Now, if you are interested in having a reading done for yourself, a personalized reading about anything that you have on your mind, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me at yemallasmoontarot@gmail.com. I am on Facebook. My Facebook page is Yemallas Tarot Consulting Services. And I also have a web page, which is yemallasmoon.ca, and you can get a lot of information there about my services and what's available and how to order a reading. Bright blessings, everybody.
I hope you enjoyed my demo reading. All of my contact information will also be posted with this video. And I really am looking forward to connecting with you soon, and hopefully helping you to find new perspectives, make some better choices, and create an amazing future for yourself. Happy Halloween!